After all this experience, different cultures, different, I really started to appreciate Bulgaria much more, to an extent where I was joyful living in Bulgaria. It was like a new culture experience for me. Being back after so many years being abroad, I realized actually that I can be part of this change in the society.
This is the Back to Bulgaria podcast. Discover life in Bulgaria, one story at a time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Back to Bulgaria podcast, where we talk about what it's like to live and thrive in Bulgaria. I'm your host, Anna Maria Andreeva, and I am a crazy American-born Bulgarian who has lived in many different countries before, but now I've chosen to make Bulgaria and Sofia, Bulgaria, my home. Together with my sister, who is just as crazy, we decided to start this podcast to talk with people who have chosen to either move to Bulgaria or have chosen to stay here and who are doing just awesome, amazing things in this country. Together with our guests, we'll discuss a large variety of topics, from the basics of living in Bulgaria to building a life and career here. We discuss topics that matters to people who are interested in creating real change, creating a real impact in Bulgaria. So today we are back with our second season of the Back to Bulgaria podcast. For those of you who have been following the podcast so far, you know that we've been taking a break for a little bit, but throughout that break, we have been developing the strategy, the concept, and launching our initiative, Завръщане в Bulgaria, which you can find out more information about in the links below and follow us there as well. But now we are back with Back to Bulgaria, and we are better than ever. We are bringing to you a new lineup of guests that we hope will be really interesting to you to learn more about what it's like to live in Bulgaria, to move back to Bulgaria, and the amazing opportunities that there are here. Today, I am here with Dessy Rey. She is an amazingly talented person who I've met through my close friends, and now we've become close friends.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here and to be part of Back to Bulgaria.
I'm so happy to have you here. You are somebody that is talented in many different ways. You love to be a real change maker in Bulgarian society. You love adventures. I know that you also are a great cook, and I love your cooking so much. But what else would you say you want to introduce about yourself that we should know before we start the rest of our podcast?
Well, I am born and raised in Bulgaria. I spent my first formation years here. I've grown up in a very traditional way. We've observed all the traditional holidays, and I would say it was a very cozy experience. With the family together. That's very typical of Bulgaria. We celebrate together. We sit on the table together. And I think that is very important because sitting on the table together sometimes resolves conflicts and brings you closer to the people. So we learn community lifestyle, celebrating together. Celebrating is a very, very important part of Bulgarian culture.
That's true. There's always a lot of holidays going on all throughout the year.
Yeah, and we are very happy to observe them with good food and nice jokes. Being together is the focus of every family, I would say.
Well, also, Dessy, you're somebody that, yes, you grew up and was raised here, but you have traveled a lot around the country. You've traveled to 5 different continents, from what you told me.
And I've lived with a different purpose, and some of the places I've gone humanitarian missions. In other places I've gone work away. In other places I've been just traveler. I really love cultures, and that is one of the things. I grew up here, but I was so curious about cultures. I was so curious to get to know people, different people. And that's why I decided to leave Bulgaria when I finished school. Actually, before that, I was running a high schooler business, but it was quite successful. I would say it's not a rocket science to open a company in Bulgaria. If 2 18-year-old girls can make it and do it successfully, everyone can do it. Expertise is important. Expertise will earn you a living in Bulgaria. mediocrity will not.
Mm-hmm.
It's true here or anywhere,
Yeah.
but I've experienced it. And actually, we were working all the years of our high school. We were making gifts and handmade stuff, and it was running really well.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that we had to open a company with a serious accountancy, with a serious planning, and we were very happy to do that. So we continued to doing that after we graduated, and I'd say we were earning 10 times the average salary.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was very good.
It's a
And
high
you'd
school
say,
student.
yeah, exactly. But some people would ask me, why did you leave such a successful vocation job? Well, I was so passionate about getting to know cultures, different people. I had this in my heart with all the maps, all the geography. I loved geography when I was little. I was literally laying down on big maps and observing what the people look like, what they have around, what are the mountains, what are the seas. I really wanted to get to know them.
Yeah. I think that this is something that a lot of people in general feel like when they're young, or that they just want to explore the world, that they want to see what's out there. And I think that's a really good thing to do. Like, I also, when I was growing up, wanted to travel the world, and I still am traveling the world.
Yeah, I do too.
There's just so much to explore in the world. There's so many cultures to get to know and even to be a part of around the world. And I think that's an awesome experience to go out and do, and even live in all types of countries all around the world.
Exactly. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity because, Bulgaria was quite closed some years ago. Well, 30 years ago, 34 years ago, the regime of communism fell down. So we have a little background of being more closed, like all the Eastern European countries. And one of the things, my family has suffered a lot in the regime. My great-grandfather was persecuted by the communists, by the regime, because he didn't want to give up his land. He was a landlord, his farms. He didn't want to give up on anything they were running. So he was persecuted and he fled. He fled outside Bulgaria. And actually, that's the story of many people that were born outside of Bulgaria. That around those times, 1938, 1945, there was a huge persecution. Yeah, that was a persecution. And in our case, my great-grandfather was able to escape from this persecution. And it's a long story, but I'll make it short. So he fled, he went to Chile, but actually he never was able to draw his family with him. So he left a wife with 3 young kids here in Bulgaria. And actually the state proclaimed them as enemy of the people. That was the term, enemy of the people. Yeah. So they were cast away in another end of Bulgaria where they knew no one. And it was a tragic story in my family, and so many people being bitter from that experience. I believe that we should forgive, and forgiveness is that we don't justify those actions, but we don't have any anger inside of us. And Bulgaria is in a different place.
Yeah,
we are in a different place now, and I think it's time to reclaim our homeland.
Yeah,
be part of modernization, be part of all these advanced social, professional, economical.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are developing in the world in general, and Bulgaria is part of that development and part of that we have to be open to the world.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we should know our history, accept it, understand it. That story, well, I've always known it because they had been telling the story since we were little. Our family was really close together. We were together all the time telling the stories. And I know that my great-grandfather was living in Chile, and that sparkled a passion in me. Oh, where is Chile? With what language do they speak there? That's why I first decided to learn Spanish, because my grandfather, when the regime fell in the 90s, he went to Chile to see his father finally. So they were reunited, and he was bringing me toys and stuff. And I was really like, oh, this is from another part of the world. And I really, really got passionate.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
growing up here, I loved being in Bulgaria. I was very patriotic, but then in my late teens, actually, I started feeling, okay, there are things that are not right here. And I felt that social justice was not enough in this country. And I was thinking, no, I'm fed up. Like, I don't want this for myself. So traveling for me also was kind of escape from the situation.
Yeah.
Not until few years later, 6 years later, when I came back, mature, understanding, with much more understanding.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what happened when you said around 18, 19 years old, you decided to take a step to go somewhere abroad. Tell us a little bit about where that led you, maybe a little bit about where you went and what life looked like for you there.
Okay, so it was a very dynamic era of my life. First, I decided to go to school in England. It was a social work school, so it gave me the kickstart. It helped me understand the cultures. Actually, we were really getting trained to work with different people. It's something that at that time, now it's really different, but 16, 17, 16 years ago, in Bulgaria, we were more close than we are now. So going in England to study cultures, different people was really beneficial for me, opening my eyesight,
your worldview.
My worldview, yeah. And then from then I started subscribing myself to different volunteer missions, humanitarian missions, helping here or there. I've been in many places. I've been in Europe. I've been in South America. Mainly South. I love South America. Okay. Yeah. So I've been in Asia. In Africa, I've been more as a traveler, adventure traveler. That was the other side that I'm grateful to have the opportunity to go around the world.
Yeah.
Just as an adventure traveler, to get to know the people. I love connecting with the people to see what they do, how they live, what's their point of view of the world. That really has enriched me immensely.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to bring it back to Bulgaria, because at that point, when I started traveling, thinking that the situation is not good here in Bulgaria, I'm gonna go away where the society is more open, then I realized actually that I can be part of this change in the society. I can be someone who goes for social justice and raising awareness.
Yeah, you don't have to wait on somebody else to do it.
Yeah, because someone has to do it.
Yeah.
And
has to start from somewhere, right?
Yeah. I think in some parts of the Western society, they have expertise with different social works that we used not to have. Now we have it. But at that time, I would say we didn't have it, or we just started having it.
Yeah.
Because one society that is used helping only to the people they know. For example, a family wouldn't help so many incapacitated people with special needs, because the country was taking, the state was taking that on them. But at some point, it's a social need to be done, and no one is taking care. So I realized that society, and I'm part of society, we can go forward with it.
Yeah.
Getting experience, learning from people that have already been on that path.
Yeah. So maybe we can backtrack a little bit. You said that you studied in the UK. And from there, you found different missions that you could go. Were you volunteering abroad in like the different continents?
Yeah, I was. And
what did that look like?
Oh, that looked like meeting a lot of people, being flexible. We are already quite flexible. The Bulgarians, I would say, we are quite flexible, but getting more flexible with a different perspective. That was an important for me.
Yeah. What kind of volunteering did you do?
We were helping different people. And it's it would be another podcast if I had to say, but we were helping.
Was it like refugee related or what?
Also refugee related, people that needed help in the homesteads, people that were struggling with many kids, people that were not getting enough help from the government in different European countries. Then I went to South America also with different kind of vulnerable groups.
That's really cool. So you got this very wide perspective of what is going on in the world, what their everyday life maybe looks like too.
Absolutely.
And with all of this like experience that you had abroad, you I'm guessing like were able to just expand your perspective, expand your knowledge of it all. And knowing all of that and having that background, what led you to think about then eventually coming back? And when did that happen to you?
Going abroad, living abroad, traveling abroad has shaped me in relation with my living in Bulgaria, because I was born and raised here. It widened my point of view. I understood a lot about the different people, how the needs of the other might be really different than your own needs. And that's something that we sometimes forget.
Yeah.
We cannot even imagine how different the needs of someone are. And we need to stop and listen to. We need to keep quiet and listen, see more needs of the other, because they are really different than what we imagine. So it widened my point of view, and I really got back to Bulgaria in a different state of mind. And there was some point after one mission, I ended up in Bulgaria, because Bulgaria was always my base. I never left permanently, but I was here or there for months or up to a year. I love Bulgaria. I didn't imagine my life in Bulgaria as a permanent. I never thought I'm going to marry in Bulgaria for a Bulgarian. Never. Like, it was not my plan. It was not in my long-term perspective. So at some point, I was back. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And I was waiting in my mind to decide what's next.
Yeah. You were thinking, will you go?
Yeah, where I go next. That was my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Where I go next. I never thought that it would be here, but where I go next. And at some point, next is Bulgaria, just right here.
Okay.
I got a job. Then some months passed, and I really, after all this experience, different cultures, different variety, diversity, after all this, I really started to appreciate Bulgaria much more, to an extent where I was joyful living in Bulgaria. I was reuniting more with family, with my grandparents, extended family, and it was like a new culture experience for me.
Yeah.
Being back after so many years being abroad, it was different than not being abroad. Like, perspective was totally different. I enjoyed every single relationship I had here.
The chance.
I was not complaining about situation. Yeah, we're not the richest country, but we are a free country.
Yeah. That's something that we definitely sometimes take for granted.
Yes.
But people, I've definitely noticed, like, in growing up in the States, the difference in freedom, maybe even, that I feel here compared to in the
Here,
States.
we are quite flexible now. You have opportunities to choose your path, and your path can be very curly path.
Yeah.
In comparison with someone next to you. I love that about Bulgaria.
That's great.
You have opportunities here.
Would you say that when you made this step, you decided that Bulgaria is the next step, not somewhere abroad? What is something that sparked that? Like, this is it feeling for you?
Yeah. I think being close to the nature for me is really important. In Bulgaria, I realized it's so easy to be close to the nature. You're working, let's say you really want to develop a career, then you want to go and rest in the nature. It takes 15 minutes to be completely desolate with the birds singing, not hearing the traffic.
Yeah.
That was very subtle in my mind at that time, but then I learned to love and appreciate nature more, eat more natural food.
Yeah. You're a very big foodie, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to preserve foods, make different like
I love
combinations, chemistry related stuff.
yeah, fermentation, and seasonality. Seasonality is one thing that captured me in Bulgaria. We have the 4 seasons, like the green colors of the spring, the breeze of the summer,
Yeah.
the autumn when the harvest is so plentiful, and then the winter when you're outside with the snow, for example, doing winter sports. It's so refreshing. I cannot compare this cycle to anything I've seen because it's all together. It's here. We have mountains, we have sea, we have fields, we have plants. Our land is so rich. You can grow so many things. Actually, biologically, in Bulgaria, we are really diverse in flora and fauna.
Yeah.
Really diverse.
I've heard that even like Bulgarian herbs and these like plants that naturally will grow wildly in Bulgaria are very like exported, actually.
Yeah, I'm apprentice herbalist, and I love that. And there is a tradition. I don't know if you have heard of any of them. Yeah. Okay, this is the day when people go collect herbs because it's in the peak of the vegetation. It's an end of June.
Yeah.
So, well, the folklore tradition and the legends would say that those elf Samudivi, which they go in the forest at that time and they abduct people just like aliens.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's part of Bulgarian folklore.
Yeah, people do believe that herbs picked at that day are very healthy, much more. They have health charge much better than the other days. So
yeah, it's a day that people just go out.
I love just go very early in the morning after those Bulgarian kind of elves, if I could say. They were dancing in the forest, so they charged it with energy and so on. But it's a nice experience, and I love picking herbs in the summer. Not only that day, I like it. You have herbs everywhere. I'm reading literature on herbs from different continents, and actually we have so many herbs. We only lack the tropical herbs. We have all the Mediterranean, all the mid-climate herbs, and it's a big thing. Herbalism is a big thing in Bulgaria, as you know.
This is something
that's an advantage.
Yeah, this is an advantage to being in Bulgaria. I guess I at least feel that I'm more connected to the seasons, to the earth,
the land, the elements. I do, These captured me. And that's when I decided that I want Bulgaria to be my base. I will never stop traveling, but Bulgaria is my base and I'm much more permanently here. And and then I got married here. So I'm happy to be part of the land I was born in. I know that that's not true for so many people in the world. And I'm happy I have this opportunity to live in my motherland.
Yeah. It is a very sweet and unique thing that more and more in the world I feel
getting away from the roots.
Yeah.
And I feel getting back to the roots.
Yeah. I feel like there was this transition to going back to the roots, which is
it is
what we're highlighting here.
We start appreciating it more and more.
So since you moved into Bulgaria, you mentioned that you got a job here, that you got married. Dive into how really living in Bulgaria has shaped you, your social life, your personal, professional life, and what you've been up to.
I came to Bulgaria more ready for different kind of relationships, and exploring the people of Bulgaria was a lovely process for me. Actually, I met my favorite people in Bulgaria. So my friendships here, lovely people.
Yeah.
I really got more appreciative of everything that's going on in Bulgaria, and I came to see much more social life, much more causes, much more people wanting to help other people. And I was really delighted. So that was like a wave that I joined.
It seems like for you, a key word is causes. Can tell us more about what causes you've seen in Bulgaria, how that's inspired you?
Yeah, I've worked with different foundations. We've worked with people with special needs, people, orphans, different stories. Another vulnerable group in Bulgaria, people living very away in some desolate villages. Those groups are worthy that their voice is heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would try to do more about that because I do believe their voice should be heard.
I think that this is something that people abroad also have a heart for, like Bulgarians abroad. When I talk to them, they do mention like the causes that they would be interested in being involved in, but they don't. In the media, you don't typically see information about people helping different.
Yeah, recently Bulgaria is much more modernized than what it was. So you hear those things. Maybe social media is where most of the volunteer work happens. Most of the work with society happens. For like we share with each other what's going on, and this is how we end up supporting a cause.
Could you maybe tell us a little bit about maybe one of your experiences in supporting a cause in Bulgaria?
I love working with people with special needs. I started working much before I left Bulgaria in my high school years, and I continued after I was back. That enriched me, and it made me start my own causes. One of the causes we've started is called Freedom Bread, where we make breads together, sourdough breads, but actually the main point of all the community baking together is raising awareness, because I think raising awareness is really important in this stage. It's already big in Bulgaria, but we need even more. As a society that transitions from regime to another regime, we need it more and more. And I want to be more and more part, and I'm touched, and I wanna light the spark in other people. And if everyone makes a little bit, if everyone contributes a little bit, that is good. Because if 100 people do something little, it will be one big thing. Because sometimes people say, I cannot do anything big enough, so I'm leaving it behind.
Yeah, they're discouraged.
But I encourage everyone to, if you're able to help with a bread, with a smile with them, that's a big thing. That would mean a word for someone.
Yeah, this is true. And I think that volunteering and being a part of like raising awareness even for different causes is becoming
more normal.
More normal.
Yeah,
And
it
people
is
talk about
normal
it a lot.
already.
Yeah.
It is normal already. But the more the better.
Yes.
That's why I choose to go on with it.
Yeah, that's really inspiring. And like for me, I am trying also to be more involved, to look for volunteer opportunities. Honestly, for me, when I came to Bulgaria, it was hard for me to find opportunities to volunteer because there are online platforms that offer volunteering opportunities, but they're kind of like not so diverse, like walking a dog, which is great and fun.
Well, there is much more, but sometimes what I've noticed that people that run foundations, NGOs, like, okay, it is so time consuming that there is no time for marketing. So the people don't know what actually is going on. Those people from the certain cause, they need people, but they are not reaching them. And there are also the people that want to help, but they don't know where exactly they can go. But I believe more and more those causes are given voice.
Yeah.
And they're going to the surface more and more and it's community based. Like if you hear it from someone and you go and help, it's a matter of community and social development. It's happening in Bulgaria.
It's happening, but it's obvious that there is an opportunity here for people to be a part of more like the raising awareness, giving a voice.
Yes.
Really showing the work that is being done for all types of causes.
Exactly.
Not just in Sofia.
No. And more, even more in the countryside.
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of people in Bulgaria left, that there are more Bulgarians abroad than Bulgarians in Bulgaria.
Mhm.
So there's so many. Yeah, that's true. Like you
No.
see the statistics. I don't know the exact numbers, but it would be more than 7 million Bulgarians officially abroad.
Yeah.
And
Around
what
there.
about some of their parents? I know them. They're alone, living in their houses. They don't know about the internet, so they're really lonely. And television, for most of the other people in the countryside, television is the only outcome of information.
Okay.
So it's not enough.
Yeah.
So let's go. Let's reach them. Let's make their life a little bit more exciting and to show them that we love them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know of a few really great initiatives that are working with villages that are gathering grandmas in the villages
Yeah.
and kind of offering them a job opportunity to just knit things that they sell later.
Exactly,
and they
exactly.
receive an
This is
income.
connecting the dots, connecting the people.
Yeah.
But even in personal plan, you have an aunt that is near Burgas or wherever. You gather a group of friends and you go and visit her. She would be more than happy to bake you a cake, to make you some traditional stuffed peppers.
Yeah.
She'd be more than happy. Like that would be the event of her month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's fun for everyone. So yeah, giving voice to those people and showing that they are not forgotten, that's another aspect. Even personally, not being part of a great cause.
Something that you could do individually or in a small group that actually has a big impact.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we already talked about a little bit overall big issues that we see in Bulgaria that you want to improve upon. Is there anything else that you'd like to highlight in relation to that?
Well, we hear from so many people negativity.
Mm-hmm.
People are a little bit pessimistic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you enter in a store and they're not smiling. Okay. But a lot of this comes from the entitlement of self-righteousness that not everyone, but a huge part of the people think they're right and the others are wrong. And that makes friction.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the point where we have to start listening to the person next to us to see, okay, am I the most right on earth?
Mm.
Maybe not, maybe yes.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't allow this to cause friction.
You're involved, since you've been here, also in the film industry, in Bulgaria, in the movie industry. And that's something that a lot of people don't know that is happening in Bulgaria. There's a huge film studio here, but you're also
many
involved
studios,
in that.
and it's a niche.
Right.
It's getting bigger and bigger. I could say, and I'm part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, and Bulgaria has tradition generally. We have traditions in this since the old times, and we have developed them here. Okay, a lot of foreign productions choose to film here because of the costs and the quality. So I'm honored to be part of a team of young professionals. And in the future, I love to see that we are more and more recognized in the world because we are not less talented, we are not less creative than the people in the developed countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see more of us showing their talent abroad in the world productions.
There's, as you said, a lot of foreign productions choosing to film in Bulgaria.
Yes, also we dream of having our own productions here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do believe we are talented not only in our industry, in the IT industry. We have extreme talents. We are good. We are flexible. We are smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see more of the recognition, or I'd like to see more accomplished days in the world team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that, like you said, a lot of talents in Bulgaria is being developed, and there's a lot of expertise here being developed. There's opportunities.
We have to shine. Yeah, we have to shine because, as we thought before, Bulgaria was more closed. Now we are more open. We do more business internationally.
Yeah.
We work more internationally.
So I'd say, would you say, especially in the film studio, that is only at the beginning of the potential?
Yeah. We are just expanding. We are just starting to go and appear in the world scene of professionalism and talent.
And Bulgarian production in of itself appears in so much already.
Yeah. And there is much more to come. I know it and I'll see it. It's exponential growth.
Yeah, so thank you for highlighting that part of Bulgaria. Thank you for telling us a bit about like how the film industry is developing, and not just film industry, the causes that you're involved in, and that there's just this opportunity waiting for people to take it.
There are so many fields, socially, professionally. There are so many gaps to be filled in Bulgaria. Bulgaria needs people, more capable people, and that is happening.
No matter what is happening in the government or in politics, people are developing and going forward.
People are the heart of the society. People are the heart of the country.
And it's up to us in reality to get
exactly. People lead.
So we're coming towards the end of our podcast now, and something that I'd really like to ask you is, what's in the coming years for Bulgaria? What is something that you hope to see happen?
I hope that all the Bulgarians start believing more in themselves, start to be more open to opportunities, start to be more aware of the situation of the person next to them. Then we are gonna be a spaceship country.
It's true.
We just have to believe in ourselves and being a little bit more aware of our situations in comparison with the others. And I think that's gonna give us a kickstart. I see a constant development, and I really do believe that will continue exponentially.
That's a great thing to end off the podcast with. Thank you so much, Dessy, for sharing your voice, for sharing your point of view, and for telling us about your story. I think that it's a really unique perspective to be able to come back from all types of missions and volunteering around the world, having seen the amazing things that there is around the world and the not so great.
Exactly, yes. Where some people would say something dirty or something poor or something that is missing, I see opportunity and I see chance to be more creative and experience authentic adventure.
Yeah. And I'd say that you're definitely very good in taking those opportunities, just from what I know about you, from making handmade soap to making all types of crafts and helping and all types of causes. It's really inspiring for me, and I hope for our audience as well.
I'm happy to be able to do that and much more, to continue with the traditions. I do believe in traditions, but I do believe in everything modern that we can incorporate for a better life in Bulgaria.
Thank you, Dessy, for participating in the podcast with us today.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be together, to be part of this community.
To our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you were inspired and encouraged by our conversation with Dessy today. If you want to learn more, or you know somebody that would be interested in hearing this podcast as well, please share it with them. And spread the word about the opportunities and things that are just happening in Bulgaria. Make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast channels, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you watch your podcasts. And check out our social medias on Instagram, TikTok. We're all over. Don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any comments, any questions, or you would like to participate in the podcast as well. We are open and waiting for your feedback. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day and a great week, and go out and do something awesome today.